Our area is located in a very remote part of Kalimantan. Exploration by practice in a place like Indonesia always occurs in a remote, a generally forested, mountainous region that clearly is a sensitive place in that manner and something that needs to be protected, something a company needs to be very aware of where it is operating and how it needs to go about its work to reduce its impacts as far as it possibly can. Well, you know, mining is something that's image is very badly painted as being a massive destroyer of environments. The reality is the actual footprints of even a large mine, when you compare it to the actual amount of wealth that is derived from that hole, is absolutely tiny compared to other forms of land use. Palm oil, forestry concessions, agricultural concessions. These large areas that we see even just up the road here, these are local people's mines. These are not industrially well-managed mines. The sort of death rates that must occur in some of these places must be extremely high. And of course, there's no consideration or planning whatsoever to rehabilitate anything like that. But that is not mining. They are activities that people are forced to undertake to put food in their stomach. Our company at this point takes our environmental practices extremely seriously. Whenever we start a program anywhere, we send in a water analysis teams to get an understanding of what is actually in the water, what minerals are being carried in the water before we even enter, particularly if it's an area that's been disturbed by mining, where they may have used mercury, etc., etc. Beyond that, we have a practice of only buying wood from certified sawmills. This means we have to transport sawn timber for hundreds of kilometers to our base camp and then fly it into the jungle at a huge cost to ensure that we don't cut down more trees than we absolutely require. In addition, our camps are knocked down. We use knockdown structures. They can be re-established in different locations. The wood that's used for flooring, etc., is all reused and recycled. A drill pad probably requires a footprint of about 20 by 20 meters. An additional campsite may need about 30 by 30 meters. We will only cut, exactly that space. And that's what afterwards we will completely rehabilitate by replanting native species that we collect in the jungle and bring back and plant at that place. There is, of course, a whole series of regulations and compliance that we must fulfill with the government. Every 3 months, in fact, we have forestry inspectors come and visit all our sites. Our practices could be considered well and truly best practices and beyond. I'm very proud of that. It's something, of course, we'll grow upon and introduce as a corporate culture in all our work with the local people so they come along and understand why it's so necessary. Ultimately, I would love to think that if we found such a mine, we could indeed take over the forestry concessions all around it and turn it into a massive conservation area. Employ the local peoples to be forest rangers, to look after it rather than to cut it down. A mine could do that because it generates such wealth, if the commitment's there and if the intent's there. We hear a lot of talk about protecting the forest, but we don't see much action. An industry like this could really do it, and we believe in that.